Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Well, I'm glad we got that out about the towers. So what we're going to do now is just fiddle with my head. Try to slow down. I was pretty hyper last week. And part of the other week. And California poppies. Let's hope. I still haven't got all the fake grapevines down to make wreaths because now the truck needs an alternator. I saw it coming too. It's so weird. Not because I knew I heard something wrong. I don't know if it was one of those. Was it a last minute thing? So I want to just show you some little pieces I did. This is just to inspire us because I need to start doing projects again. What's your favorite thing about winter? If you can. If you're in a situation where you can provide heat, what's your favorite? Even if it's a campfire, you know, we'll just even go, we'll go low, you know what I mean? Why is it making this look like super big now, but you guys, this is so dumb. I can't wait till we have to go back to the beginning a little bit. Really. So now we're going to be... It's going to get all messed up. So I just colored this. This was in the visiting place. I tried being friends with the one woman outside of the hospital, but she did to me the same thing she did in the beginning of the hospital this summer, but then we made up. She jumped to severe conclusions. She just did it again. But I was greeted with a really horrible text and emails for Thanksgiving morning. So I blocked her. Now, I did get woke up like that, and I did air because I reacted. So I called and I shouldn't have. And I said, I really hope, was this call really for Heather, the lady who stayed in the hospital? What the fuck is going on? Are you some kind of meth head? That's what I did. So how immature is that, right? So then I regretted that because she's such a loose cannon. And I got all this going on so she can easily lie. So I was going to fade out of the relationship the day before Thanksgiving because she was telling me a story about her... and sometimes I used to just hang out on my show. I thought my show was a lot funner back at Brentwood, even though it was like the worst. That was the worst stalking we had. More than 5 Freemason-type Klansmen, ex-cop Marines, Boy Scouts, some kind of just really messed up stuff. But I know they're Freemasons. They're not the good ones, let's just put it that way. So I colored this. So sometimes, I don't know, maybe it does sound like gossip, I don't know. So I just have a small group. So I didn't tell my husband because I was already regretting, you know, I know better than if you even stay anywhere like institution related. Don't get phone numbers and don't hang out. For one reason is some people are completely the opposite of when they're institutionalized or in a hospital. Some people are the same or similar. Some are worse. They're not adapting to the environment, so they're worse behaved. And so sometimes you don't know, but I can't honestly say there's ever been like a successful. So that was why I had changed my number 2. I can't decide. Mainly it's because, see where I filled in here? That was the only part that kind of was bothering me, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that I do that I don't like. This one I kind of like. I do like this one. It's simple, yet it's enough to look at, like to just... I think it's calming. I think the direction I think it has a calming effect, don't it? I don't know. So then she involved John, and John had to keep from, yeah, she had both of our numbers, so. And he's like, what the fuck? Now she's involving me? Well, the reason I was going to cut her off, she just told me she was screaming at her brother, who was excessively abusive to her whole childhood, but was like screaming at him, saying, you guys, you'll never know this woman. Let's just, I don't care. We're going to do this. Then I'll just erase the video. But she's like, she was never your real daughter. It's your stepdaughter. So then she's nosing in with me about my son between Wednesday. And I said, that is like really tender. It's bad on both sides, you know. There's an adult at the time. I'm not going to talk about it right now. The holidays are rough enough for me. Like, please, like, I'm not going to talk about it right now. And, I don't know. Apparently she went asleep on that. I told her a couple tidbits. Things went wrong. I guess I shouldn't have did that. So then she fully blamed me, and John called me I don't know. I've been called quite some stuff back to back. Like Al, he liked to say eat shit and die and stuff like that. You old hag. Like crude. I can't even repeat it. You know, the one that almost got me killed with the police. So, no, it's not only that. I wake up to several emails, but I'm thinking I'm going to just blame myself. It's just easier that way. That's what I've been told, and I think that, I think at 50 I'm going to agree. Because there's been times I didn't handle things well under immense amounts of gang stalking, and I yelled at some people I didn't want to yell at, but I didn't want them to like me anymore, so that the government or anyone, they just wouldn't bring any extra pain to anyone that I once just loved so much. Just by chance. I mean, I can't guarantee it would or wouldn't, but it just was. And they don't understand. They don't get it, so what's the point? By the time everyone gets the gang stalking and what the government's done to some of us, and it's just enough people that a lot of people wouldn't know, is, we'll all be dead, so. I like this one. God, is this better? Now we're like shiny. You guys, they do mess with it. It's so upsetting. Like, how could it be so different this morning, you know? So her brother is a sick man too. We're all sick in one way or another. And some are less sick than others. I was working at this at one point, but I messed it up. This is just a coloring. A friend gave me this book. And, normally I would just be like, well, she has PMS or complex PTSD and that, you know, forgive it and try one more time, but it was so hot and cold that it honestly seemed set up, but it could have just been the devil, you know. And, but you know where I saw progress in my healing as a getting older woman is, I still reacted a little, but I would have reacted worse. What she did is, as she started to verbally abuse me, she Now, to me, I would take a paragraph and say, all right, she's fucking pissed. She hates me. All right, let's end the deal. Like, well, I didn't know we were invested. Is this a divorce? We have to get paperwork done? I just fucking met your kook ass. Along with myself up in the hospital. You were one of the most sane. I mean, what kind of selection was I looking at? One of the most. I didn't say I saw her behaving right. She was a viper. If something set her wrong, she has these other physical problems that could be provoking that with her nervous system, and I'm not making excuses for her. It's things that could really cause problems. And she won't take a med at all. Like 0. Like, I even know now that there's been so much damage. It was done to me. I did to myself, all of it together, whatever the case may be. And, you know, I have to take a low dose. And the other 2 doctors agreed to reduce it. So, yay. And then hopefully when things settle down and we get somewhere else, you know, who knows? So just until, for me, all the towers are gone and we reduce the G's and all this, I'm just gonna get increasingly worse. What else do I have? So I finished this one. I had showed it. I gotta get these out of that sunroom. I don't think nothing, not the roof nor the bottom was insulated, so it's more like a meat freezer in the winter. I lost a succulent, and I had been growing it a while. I missed it by like an hour or 2 of this freeze that hit, and I tried to get it upstairs, and oh my gosh, I messed up so bad that winter. I still miss it. It was a gift. This succulent plant, I never had grown one, and it was getting pretty big. Like a dingbat, I left it in there. Who knows all this? So, I can't decide. I think it's something you gotta see in person. Good thing it's 3 bricks, right? I gotta get the door. I'm probably not gonna post it. I'm just messing around. I don't know. This is kind of nice. I just saw it a little bit differently in the camera. I have one that was much more detailed than this upstairs. Maybe we'll try to go up and see it. I tried to do something different, but I'm kind of indifferent about it. I think this would be the front. I mean, any which way. So that would be the front. So that's kind of cool. But, I mean, I guess I'm looking at it. You could pick a couple different directions. I finished this one, September. So cute. I got these glass pieces plain for less than $1 a piece, so I just got lucky. The store was going out of business. These you would put like a tea candle in or something a little bigger. What's the ones? There's these and then the ones that are a little bigger. I wanted to do a lighter fill in, but I ended up putting shungite in it. put it on. Alright. And then I was starting this one, so I'm not far at all. These are not what they were advertised. These came in, they were plastic. The company had to go back and say, because some people, it was later, and we were like, hey, you know, those weren't glass, you know, so as they said glass, they weren't glass. So, they're plastic. Got like they each have a design. I got into something. Oh, I did. Oh, no, I thought maybe it was all dried out enough out there. Uh-oh. That could be why my face is looking weirder. $15 minutes? What are we doing here? 16 minutes? We're supposed to have fun with the animals. Got some rocks here too I found. But I can't tell you what they are. Some kind of slate type of... It has more of a blue. I don't think indigo. A light indigo, lavender. I think this was done, you know, it's not, I don't know if that's, I don't know. I think it's more of a souvenir. Like later, it was a later piece. Still good, I'm just saying. Some kind of glass art. I didn't do this. I was kind of indifferent about it. I didn't realize that now. I think that is like a caterpillar or something. I wouldn't want that. I know who that came from too. Okay, so anyways, here's this. Not anyone in this house, let's just put it that way. There's not very many in this one. These here, I'm not even sure why I saved them. They're okay. Oh, this one was neat because it's so round. I mean, almost a perfect circle. And there is another circle. I don't think that washes out. Oh my gosh, what does she have? It's all old and tattered. You'd never want to probably just look at it. Just a quartz. I sunned these a little bit ago. It's another broken piece of quartz. I don't think these even went together. There must be another piece. No, these might be too separate. And this is polished. I should know that one. It's one of my favorites. It's got olive green with like a dark, has a little dark and then a lighter. I like that green. It's one of my favorite colors. This has like little chips of like fool's gold in it. It might be fool's gold. For some reason I just liked this piece. And it was obviously had broke or something. It's probably more of an in-person thing, but and it has even these lines on it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like an iridescent, like a shell. And then I keep them all in this little box. That's kind of one of my little quirks is little boxes or things like this with little tokens in them. And they all might actually, they could vary. A lot of these would be from a trip somewhere to a shop, maybe a stone shop, down by a river. Who knows? There's some seashells in there, little teeny ones. Well, that was fun. So it was funner than when I got upset about the towers, but that's such old news now. What am I kidding? Am I kidding? I just found some more. This is all from God, you know what I mean? We wouldn't have these beautiful things without God. So this is so much more fun than a lot of the other stuff we're all worried about or concerned about. I mean, people can't even agree on simple stuff like that. No, don't worry. Never, never worry. Everything's going to be great. There is a normal level of concern that we should all have. If you don't have any concern about, but like, how do we manage it, you know? Can you really ignore it? I think a spider, a baby spider went inside of here. I'm not kidding. That little rascal. Did he? Let's see. Well, and I'm not that humanitarian. He might have to go bye-bye if he's up in here. I didn't invite him here, and it's up on the shelf, so he's not invited. I have a rule. I'm not going to ship everyone out when I'm sitting in my own home. You're in a bear zone. You're going to have to go bye-bye. Some things are left be in some instances, but like there's a spider nest on top of my son's deer antlers. I thought he'd want them. I don't know. I guess he was just letting me be reminded of them. I know, this is a cute one. And this is funny. Now, how hilarious is that? Look at this. Now, this was river washed. Or who knows where it traveled. Well, this would have been fun to show better. It's just one. It's got little dots on it. It's a really cute one. Just need to focus. Do I like the ocean? I'm just asking myself a question out loud. Because this is ridiculous. 22 minutes. Now we're just hanging out. Yeah, I like the ocean. I don't want to live on the ocean. I think that it's a big sign when it has waves and tides that we were supposed to stay far away from wherever it decides to go off the beach. You respect it and live farther off the beach. Or you might just end up washed down in the ocean with the whales, the ones that are left. I love the salt water, the breeze, the waves, not the rotten, you know, I don't want to see rotten fish and stuff on the coast, and that happens, and I don't want to see that, and anyhow, well, we don't want to ruin the show. So we're going to do one more. We're going to do a guess one, and then we're going to do a possum. Or something. Bear, boundary, stand your ground. Good one. Look up the bear. I don't know why I said possum, because I've determined that we have a mole problem. It should be just rodent. We just say rodent. So we would pick squirrel or, not really. Squirrels are above ground. Opossum does kind of, they like to burrow a little bit, but not a ton. They're not really, they're opportunistic. They don't really want to do a lot of work. But they're smart. They kind of know where to go to get freebies and they're freeloaders. Oh, goodness. Opossum 84. Oh, my God. Oh, I need to go over this. My husband was really upset that I felt bad about it. He goes, with your curved spine and all the rest of it, and you would, and just that alone, the injuries to your neck, that whiplash, all of it, and you would feel bad. He goes, you know how many hundreds of dollars they take out of my check every week? And you're worried about your $700 that you get? He's pretty upset. Not at me, but that I was feeling bad about that. I don't want to get into why, but he's like, give me a break. He's like, they get that back in a week or more, or the month or whatever. Don't get attached. Strategy. Have a backup plan. Opossum. I like them. I know that they're just, well, you can see it's a terrible picture of one, but not terrible, but I mean, excuse this. This is mud. The puppies had gotten a hold of this in a different event. Rain. There was a rain event. Don't get attached. Well, they dragged it in the water. Okay, so I saved most of it some years. Like, don't get attached to one and only one plan. Always have a plan B or at least a few other approaches to the subject of your inquiry. Too often you'll find yourself stuck with an agenda about how things should be or how you should act in a given situation, whether or not the plan you're acting on is one that will work. One definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So this time, try something new if your first approach doesn't work. So instead of turning left, turn right. Listen closely to your inner promptings here. You'll find clues as to what to do all around you and inside you if you just pay attention. It may not be obvious at first, but by opening your eyes, ears, and senses, you'll find some delightfully ingenious ways of approaching the situation that you're personally dealing with. Any one of your situations so that the outcome will be in your favor and in alignment with the will of Spirit. Additional associations. Grasping. Sometimes we just have to grasp that there's something we're just simply, it's not going to be resolved, and we have to move on. Just because we move on from something that's not working, it's going to cause more harm than good. And unfortunately, whatever got out of hand or didn't get healed to begin with, and whatever the situation is, at some point we have to accept that that is what it is. It's going to stay that way for however long God wants it to stay. We may never know. We may never get no idea why any of those events occurred. And it's just one of those quandaries of life that makes it difficult sometimes. Does moving on or just letting it go or putting it behind us, does that make it more comfortable immediately? No. You're still going to need to have a little grace on yourself. So grasping, agility, maternal instinct, maternal. So really tapping into that instinctual ability to know what's the next decision with God, very internally known. And stability. So, it's just a silly book, but I'll take it to heart in the sense of, what do we need to have a backup plan of? It's winter, and if I just do the immediate, do we have backup heat for so many days? Yes, we do. Do we have, or months? We could do months. The one thing we'll probably regret, but we only have one roof to go through. It would suck doing it in the winter. Actually, it would almost be impossible, so we don't even want to discuss that right now. Because I didn't get any cinder or rocks in for the hearth, and because I don't want to stay. So I have a moving problem. I moved in a circle in this town. The most ridiculous part about it is I traveled all of my childhood for this one sport. So it's like, I think that's a part of it. I think it was just ingrained. And I was obsessed with, not obsessed, but I really liked the Paddington Bear stories all the way up through elementary. And anything to do like that, like world traveling, you know, what kind of job would have lined up with like world travel? You ain't gonna get me to fly right now, so not for the last 20 some years. I only flew a few more times, and I'm not gonna be treated weird like that with the TSA no more, or potentially to be so because it's so random. You know what I mean? I mean, it would have to be life or death. So if I'm told you have to leave the country, or, well, I'm kicked out, then obviously I have to figure out how to go somewhere. But, you know, that's another situation for another day. I'm getting old, and I just don't know where. I mean, nearly what was supposed to be considered a freer society. Which one is not in dire straits, a little more free? Like England, there still had some weird stuff, free speech and stuff, even back when, or free expression. They had weird even going back. Like, you have to be real careful. Like, you had to be real careful about what you said about the monarch and stuff, even still. I think they tried to lighten up on that, but so, I mean, where would that be? And then I looked at Italy, and they're like being weird with, I think the family bought the property land, unless I'm wrong. Maybe they were just living in some woods in Italy. It looked like they had property, and they like kicked them out because they were off-gridding. They weren't hooked into the main grid. So they really need all of us in this grid. Like, really in it. And it's very like that, you know what I mean? It's very like they really need us all in that grid.